I've previously discussed how the behavior of a waveform can be modeled using boundary interference. This video will explore a planar boundary interference model for generating simple fluid motion. 4 types of fluid motion will be discussed: laminar, still, orthogonal wavefronts, and lemniscate localization. Stillness is a type of motion because a system doesn't need to possess bulk movement in order to possess thermal motion. In the first stage of model construction, the simplest units of motion are determined, enumerating the particular states that the model will be able to resolve. The basic unit of motion is the planar front. It is a pre-physical identity, a single tile in a model that could cover any surface with an arbitrary number of teeny tiny tiles. In this model, interferential observation, localization, and waveform reduction all describe the constraining of a waveform to a particular interval. As the boundary is never localized, but rather it gives rise to temporary processes of localization, the problems normally associated with a particular equational decomposition of a boundary are largely avoided. We begin the exploration of the model with the descending front. This harmonic depicts the motion associated with the laminar regime. When flow is laminar, the front expands unilaterally. The next simplest system is the superposition of the descending front and its opposite, the ascending front. The second component is equivalent to the first in all manners except its orientation. The simplest interaction of these two fronts is non-interferential intertransmission. This models the motion of a still liquid. It possesses the potential for motion, although its net movement is 0. The next simplest interaction between two fronts involves 2 slight deviations from the path of the front lines towards each other, but with a total deviation of 0. The paths overlap as they move away from the descending wavefront and towards its ascending counterpart. This generates the centroid, or local center, of the interaction. As the deviated fronts approach the ascending front, its countervailing pressure begins to repel them. Once the front has deviated 180 degrees from its initial orientation, 2 subsequent paths are possible. If the linear inertia is greater, this interaction precipitates both transverse and longitudinal waves. This oscillation will continue for so long as pressure is maintained. If, on the other hand, the torsional inertia is greater than the linear inertia, the front will continue to rotate and undergo motion towards the center, precipitating the shape of a lemniscate.